welcome to my channel, Adesua I. My name is Adesua, and thank you so much for tuning in today. So, you guys, today I wanted to do a story time type of video just because I wanted to share my testimony on how I got to know God for myself and how I continue to grow my relationship with Christ. So since we're doing a story time type of video, I just want to take it all the way back for a second and just go to the beginning and tell you guys, share with you guys how it all started. So I grew up in a two-parent household, both parents in the house working. My parents were married for about 16 years. They had 4 children, me plus my 3 other siblings. And in that time, I guess we would be considered a middle-class family. You know, we had a huge house, we had multiple cars, we had not really a need or care for anything, but we weren't that type of family that attended church every Sunday. I do believe that we considered ourselves Christians, we just wasn't attending church every Sunday. So around 2004, my mom started to attend church because my grandfather, which is her father, I believe was going to that church. So she started to attend church services, and then like she started to bring us kids with her to church. So I remember like going to church probably twice a month. And when we went to church, like I said, I was around 12. I wasn't really, you know, paying attention to the sermons just because I was just interested in like, you know, chilling with the other kids that was there. So, needless to say, like I said, I wasn't paying attention to the sermons. I was just, you know, just going with the flow of church, I guess. So fast forward a couple of months, my parents actually ended up filing for divorce, which is about 2005. And when they filed for divorce, of course, it, you know, just threw my family into a whole like whirlwind of uncertainty. We, like my mom and the kids, we moved out of the house, we moved to a different town. So with that came, of course, financial instability just because it was, like I said, one parent with 4 kids. And in that time, we were still attending church regularly. But of course, it's a hard transition. I don't think that any teenager would want to experience. And, you know, if you guys ever experienced it, you know how hard the transition is. And it was especially hard for me just because I ended up attending 2 different middle schools and 2 different high schools just because we were so unstable financially that we will just always, you know, be picking up and moving very frequently. And in that time, like I said, we were still attending church. So for me, you know, now really like listening to the sermons and really, you know, trying to hold on to some type of hope that, you know, my future is going to get better and it's not always going to be like this. I started really paying attention to the sermons, and I'm like, I'm hearing about this great God who predestined, you know, each and every one of us to have a certain type of life or whatever the case is. So now I'm just like holding on to this hope that like this God who I'm hearing about is going to, you know, come through and do something in my life. And at the time, you know, me going to middle school and high school, since I was, you know, attending two different schools, it's like I didn't have time to make friends because it's like anytime where we, you know, will settle in a certain town, like I said, you know, we will be packing up and moving probably a couple months to a year later. And, you know, I hear all these great stories about how people, you know, have friends from, you know, middle school or childhood friends, or, you know, met their best friends or whatever in high school, and y'all, like, that's just not my story. I would have loved it to be my story, but it's not at all. So because I didn't really have friends, like, and it sounds cliche, but God really became my best friend. Like, you know, I talked to him on my way to school, on my way home from school, in school. Like, it was just really me and God. And I felt like that was just, I guess, a perfect opportunity to for God to just come in and, start communicating with me, or, just start building that foundation in my life. So I want to fast forward to my junior year of high school, where my family started to gain some stability. And in this time, like I said, God was really my best friend, and my relationship was just growing with him constantly. And you guys, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but it's like soon as you're in that place, like when you're growing your relationship with Christ, like something comes in and distracts you, whether it's a man, a woman, a job, like you start feeling like you don't have time for God somehow, some way. Like that's what happened to me my junior year of high school. Like I was so invested in God. I was just like, it was just me and God every single day. And then I met my first boyfriend. And when I met my first boyfriend, unfortunately, I put God on the back burner. And for me, meeting him at the time signified a lot of things for me. It signified acceptance. It signified like someone actually wanted to get to know me, because like I said, I did not have a lot of friends, switching up schools as much as I did. And people were just not interested in getting to know me. So I'm like, okay, I have this person who is interested in me. And it just, became this huge thing where I, like I said, put God on the back burner. And I just, tried to please this person, I guess, most of the time. And I think about this time is when God showed me that I really needed deliverance from validation of men. So when he showed me this, I was just like, wow. But I wasn't in a place where I felt like I could give up that situation, just because, like I said, this was the first time that someone actually noticed me. And I'm just like, okay, so that relationship, of course, was toxic. And I ended up breaking up with him my senior year of high school after graduation. The next 5 years, so from 2011 to 2017, this theme just kept on happening. I'm just like, yo, what's really good? Like, why am I keep doing this? So what happened was, like, I broke up with him. So I, was like, okay, focus back on God. Me and God is, getting our relationship back on track. And then another person would come in my life. And then what happens? The same thing would happen. Like, I would put God on the back burner and then break up with that person, getting back on track with God. And then another person would come in. I'm just like, okay, I can't keep doing this. So I'm like, I'm feeling convictions. I'm feeling like, in 2017, I'm like, okay, God is pulling at my heart now more than ever. And I'm like, I cannot keep putting him on the back burner. So, summer of 2017, I decided that I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to put God on the back burner. I'm not going to put anyone before my relationship with Christ. And, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like an overnight type of process. Definitely took time, but the fact that God revealed that to me, and the fact that I just gave it over to him and said, okay, God, I understand that I need deliverance in this area. Help me here, because I couldn't do it by myself. And that's the one thing that I love about God. Like, he shows us what is in us that needs to be fixed, or whatever the case is. So I was just so grateful that that was in my face and I had to deal with it. And it's the scripture, you guys, sorry, because I wrote it down, I have to look at it. And Philippians 1:6, it says, the one that started the good work in me and you will complete it. And I really love that scripture, because it just shows how gracious and merciful God is, just to not leave us where we are, like he will complete the work in us that he has started. And he apparently had started working me back in high school, and now I'm 20 something years old, and he is definitely completing that work in me. So that was really it for today, you guys. I just wanted to share a little bit about my testimony. Oh yeah, I forgot. So the ways I started to grow in God. So what I did was I would get up like an hour before work, because at the time I was in college, and I was also working a full-time job. So I would be intentionally waking up at 5 a.m. and, you know, just worshiping for an hour. I would just like pray. I would do Bible studies. I started to create these lists that I call like daily confessions, and I would do a video on that later on about how to create a list of daily confessions, because I said those confessions every morning, and it really helped me to keep myself intentional when seeking God. Oh yeah, one more thing. So at that moment in 2017, when I, you know, told God, okay, God, I'm done doing this. Your will in my life be done. At that moment, you know, he started to transform me. And I believe that he would do the same thing for you guys. If anyone is struggling with anything, just, you know, really tell God, you know, God, okay, I'm tired of battling with this thing, whatever it is, and I want your will to be done in my life. And in that moment, he will start the work in you. He will start to just transform you, reveal himself to you, and do all that great stuff. So that was it today, you guys. So you guys, comment below on what year it was when you started to be intentional about God. I want to know about that. So like I said, that was it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.